I just want you to kind of introduce yourself.
My name is Vek Neal. I'm originally from, I used to say Augusta, but I'm originally from Blythe, Georgia. I'm a creative here. I've been here since 2004 after attending Savannah College of Art and Design. When I was growing up, I lived in Blythe, and Blythe is kind of a small area, and there wasn't much to do. There were like us kids. We kind of rode bikes around the neighborhood. We played basketball. We did just different things outside. But when you went inside the house, all you really had was like time. So I spent a lot of time kind of drawing, and I remember like my older brother introduced me to drawing. He was a good drawer at the time. I think it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was out or something, and he was sketching and drawing them. And I thought that was really cool, and I was like, I'm gonna do that, And so we would have these drawing competitions, and that I think was like the first time I really enjoyed drawing. It was that challenge of like, oh, I can draw this better than you, And so I picked that up just from like kind of competing with my brother, and then I got more and more involved with just art. Augusta, Georgia has one of the top magnet art schools in the state of Georgia. It's called Davidson Fine Arts, or John S. Davidson. And the cool thing about the school was you kind of have to test to get in, and they really pick like exceptional academic and creative students. And I got into that school. I was luckily able to get into that school, and I learned more about visual arts, like everything: ceramics, photography, computer stuff, graphic design, and just the traditional like fine arts, sketching, painting, all that jazz.
That's interesting.
The magnet art school was the first time I was exposed to it. I didn't really, it was certain things I learned, and I saw things like that correlated really well together. Like within photography, we had a black room, and I would sneak into the black room, and I wasn't really interested in photography. I was all about drawing, but I had really good friends that would just show me like the processing things and how they dodge photos. And it's like I realized with art, it's not so much about the technique. It's more the concept of light, understanding light, and within the photo and also within drawing. If you understand the concept of it's not lines, it's light, it's shadow and shade, then it's easier to understand and also like capture within a drawing of what you see. I picked up the camera to get better with understanding how to use the camera based on video, and I couldn't do video projects every week, but I could do photography projects. So I set these projects up for really just knowledge, to learn how to operate and get my eye better. And so now that I've established this amount of work, it's the stuff is all kind of new to me to figure out what I want to do. But I also I think the show illustrates that. I want to basically show people the beauty, especially that portrait type of beauty, and the unique people in Atlanta that I come across within the photography. I think it's problem solving is why I like being called a creative instead of working with a certain medium or being in a certain field. Because I think there are challenges with, as a creative, you approach challenges, and you're basically constantly trying to figure out like what's the best solution for this challenge. And not everything video doesn't work for everything, illustration doesn't work for everything, painting doesn't work for everything, in my opinion. And I think there's better approaches or smarter approaches to things. I think sometimes color, when you look at color image, you can't tell. You can't tell if it feels right, as you can't tell that everything is balanced with your light and dark. And so I approach everything as black and white first, and then I'll come back and put the color in later. And if the color's right, are better than the black and white, it stays color. But if black and white is stronger, then we keep it. I keep it as black and white.
Fair enough.
It took me a little bit to name the show, and I thought about UNPOSED because it wasn't. I'm not a commercial photographer, and the people I shoot aren't really models. And all of this is like very organic, and it's in this realm of trying to capture what's beautiful, but then also trying to capture something that's real. And I feel like, especially with the work I'm going to show, I feel like it speaks of this realness to it. It's just like this is a human being, but more, this is someone that has emotions, and this is someone I can relate to. And I think seeing these large images of this photography, and also looking at my portraits and the illustrations and the drawings and stuff, I try to capture like this spirit. And I think all of them, at least the pieces I feel like are strong, have the spirit that kind of speaks out. Certain people, they just shine more, and it's just like I see what I can create with this person. I want to collaborate with this person because this is the type of art and this is the type of journey I want to go down with creating that type of work.
So can you expand on that a little bit? You say that when you see somebody, you have this image, essentially. Does that image change during the shooting process?
It can transform. It can get simplified. It always changes. But initially, it's a spark that makes me want to work with that person. And no matter what I'm going to spend as much time as I can trying to get it right. But it's something. It's like it's almost like when you go grocery shopping and you find an ingredient and you're like, I know I want eggplant, so I'm gonna take this eggplant, but I think I can work with this. I know I want this, but I don't know what the recipe is. But you're gonna spend all this time buying all the extra seasonings and buying all the other things that could go complement this, and then you make this meal. And it could either be good or it could be bad, but originally you wanted this eggplant. And so, yeah, I'm like cooking. Yeah.
Very cool.
People. The defining inspiration would be people. I like portraits. I've always, and I used to be scared to say that because I thought saying portraits is like a stigma associated with it. But I think I got more. I have a little bit more pride when I say portrait, especially with the type of portraits that I do. And people have always been, well, there's in art class, back in the history of art and whatnot, there were always like 3 or 4 things that was always challenging for people to draw or to photograph or whatever, and there was always things that were organic. One was clouds. You would be a master if you could actually paint clouds. Second was water. If you were able to draw water or capture the essence of water within a painting, you were considered the master. And one of the things that fall in there, people. We're all organic. We're all different, and light determines different moods and just how we look. And it's just it's so much complexity of a person, from the hairstyle to the eye color to the bump on the nose to the shape of the ear or whatever. And it's just these organic, beautiful things I try to capture to highlight people. I think every artist or every creative or anybody who does anything, especially with repetition, in the beginning it won't be good as what you want it to be. And it's funny, I actually was retouching a photo from the past, and I looked at it and I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like the light, the color balance is off, and it's like with more knowledge I get better, and with more practice I get better. And so I feel like the best work that I do is the new work. But at the same time, you still have to show the old work in order to almost pay tribute to what you have done,
Absolutely. If you have to leave one defining statement or byline, if you will, characterizing your work, what would that be?
My work, it's not looked at as just photography, but it's photo work that will inspire people to just be themselves. And yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much.
Very good.